Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 13th of January. So with regards to background news this week, we still have a rather sensitive situation with the US, between the US and Iran, although the immediate concerns for those sort of tensions escalating does seem to have dissipated over the sort of past few days. We also have the US and China planning to sign that Phase 1 trade deal on the 15th of January. That's all planning to go ahead and sounds sort of quite amicable now, but it has been a very sensitive subject for the markets for quite some time. So let's take a look at a few markets here that we're keeping a close eye on for opportunities at the start of this week. So if we come and take a look at the Dow here, first of all, this is the Dow futures contract. The market's been extremely strong and recently last week pushed on to break out to new highs. Now, again, one of the things that's really sort of helped this market has been the good news flow with the US and China trade deal. Now, again, we've got some good news coming with that, with the signing of that. So that should sort of help this market and certainly sort of help to support this market to the long side. We've also got good trends across the timeframes on this market, and particularly like this on the 4-hour time frame, the mid time frames here, the fact that the market's back into sort of fair value zones and just breaking out of those with, again, a combination of breaking out through some structure levels around that 28,870 as well. So remember, if this trend is going to continue, we need to be seeing moves above the 29,000 level and maybe beyond. So again, keeping an eye on this for when the cash market opens, again, looking for continuation of the long trend on US equities and particularly the Dow futures contract. Now, if we come and take a look at the commodities, one of the commodities that's really moved and been in focus over the sort of recent trading days has been oil. Now, oil has had a hard sell-off as the sort of escalations and tensions with the US have sort of calmed down, and now the market's sort of sitting on top of another key level that we'll see on the daily time frame in a moment. But again, just taking a look at this on the context of the weekly chart, the market's underneath that key $60 level, and it's also in the context of a long trend and just sort of pulled back into some sort of fair value sort of area around here. So there is some levels here, and it's also back into the moving average zone on that sort of weekly chart. If we take a look at this on the daily time frame, there's not really sort of a nice, pretty trend structure here on the daily, but you can see that the market's tested this 58.60 level here a good few times, and also recently twice. So we've got a good level through here, good level of support. If the market does find support here, then we could start to see a resumption of that upward trend, particularly if the market can break above that $60 level. If it does break underneath the 58.60 level, though, we could see a bit of a move to the short side as well. And if we come down to the sort of 4-hour time frame, we can see that there is a bit of a trading window underneath the 58.65 down to around that sort of 57.60 level as well. If I just zoom out of this, you can see that that level has been tested sort of multiple time frames, multiple times as well. So bit of a trading window to the short side should we see some continued sort of weakness, but again, just sort of keeping an eye on this to see whether the market does actually sort of find support here and we start to see a bit of a resumption of that higher time frame long move. Now, if we take a look at the currency markets, one of the markets, or one of the main currencies we're focusing on at the moment, is the yens. And out of the yens, CAD yen is particularly interesting this morning for us. If we come to the higher time frames here, and I'll show you the reason why. If we take a look at this on the weekly chart, we can see that the market's just breaking out of a level here that the market's had, well, quite some time now. It's just around that sort of 84 price point, just underneath that 84 price point, in fact. But you see above that, there's not an awful lot in the way for, well, quite a move to the long side. So there's fairly decent size sort of trading window above price. We're already in a long trend here. Nice series of higher highs, higher lows, good convergence, good strength in our indicators as well. So again, a continuation of the strong move here is looking quite nice from a technical perspective as well. Again, here on the daily time frame, you can see how many times the market sort of tested this level as resistance and now also tested it as support as well. And again, on these mid time frames, the trend starting to look sort of quite nice again here now. So we've got a good trend, some decent geometry forming here again. So we're looking at opportunities long on the CAD yen, as long as the trend stays intact and when the market sort of pulls back into fair value areas. So there's a few markets that we're keeping a close eye on for trading opportunities going into the beginning of this week. If you like the sort of methodology that we use for analyzing the markets and trading, then you can come along and take a look at the trading bootcamp that we're running here in conjunction with Blackwell Global. So you can find out more information about this by coming to the Blackwell Global website, coming over to the Education tab, and then down to the Learn menu, and you'll see the Trading Bootcamp page here. This will bring you through to this page. If you can find out more information about the bootcamp down here, it's divided up into 4 sessions, and it's running over the course of January and into the beginning of February. So the first session is this evening. It's at 7 o'clock London time, where we'll be taking a look at some of the methods that we use to help us to read price action. If you'd like to join, all you need to do is to come and click on one of these tabs and reserve your seat. It is free of charge to join, and would love to see you on there. So there's again a few markets that we're keeping an eye on in the trading room. Certainly hope it helps, and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.